The power of your subconscious mind is insane. It's like having access to a nuclear reactor. Most don't use it in their daily lives, or when they do, it's out of desperation, like when they hit rock bottom. What I and many others have learned is that you don't need to wait for your life to fall apart in order to rebuild it back up again. I'm not going to give you guidance on how to improve your life. I'm merely going to show you how to access the answers you have inside you already. So in mythology, there's this idea of Katabasis. In the famous myth, The Odyssey by Homer, there is a part of it where the main character, Odysseus, goes down into Hades in order to get answers from dead souls down there. And this is a classic form of Katabasis, where you're entering the underworld to eventually come back up with insights. Odysseus talks to a lot of different people. He talks to ancient warriors. He even talks to his mother, who he didn't know died. But they all give him these kind of insights and these clues of what he needs to do when he leaves Hades. This is basically what you're going to be doing. You're not physically going down into an underworld, but you are going into the underworld of your subconscious mind in order to plumb the depths and to get insights, to get this information. And a lot of times, like I alluded to before, people only get to this state when they don't have anything, when they're desperate. Then they look to God, they look outside themselves, or they look inside themselves for the answers. I feel like it's the same thing. In fact, I kind of figured out this whole method because I went through times of desperation where I really needed to look inside myself for answers about where to go in life. And this desperation caused this high level of intent and focus. And that's the mindset you need to get into. Since then, I've realized that you don't actually need to be desperate. You just need that focus and that seriousness of intent. So if you're going to change your life on the weekend, it starts before the weekend. Say on a Friday, you set your intention then that you're going to go into this weekend and you're going to find the answers that you really need and the guidance that you really need. So on Friday night, just take a moment to yourself. It doesn't have to be long, but really be serious with yourself that you're going to go through this process. And it's not a long process, as you'll come to see. So now it comes time to get the answers. And to get the answers, you have to ask the right questions, right? So to ask the questions and to give yourself the answers, you can do either one of two things. You can journal, which is a lot of time what I do because I just like to write, but you could also just record yourself talking. And this is very effective too. Use this technique that I found out about it's something called gestalt therapy, but it's called the empty chair technique. So what it essentially is you're personifying different versions of yourself, different aspects of yourself, and you're having a dialogue with these versions of yourself. When you have this dialogue with your beliefs or versions of yourself, you'll find that you're engaging with your subconscious mind and really interesting guidance and advice comes out, just like pops out. You could actually have an empty chair, or you could just envision that there is an empty chair. The first thing you want to do is envision the future version of yourself. So have a conversation with this future version of yourself. Ask it all the questions that you want answered, like what is making this version of you happy? What do you need to do to get there? This is very powerful, and just doing this will give you a lot of insight in the direction you need to go. What is also helpful too is then to embody the future version of yourself. See yourself as your future version, and you're talking to your current version now. So ask your current version, what is stopping it? What it actually wants? Where does it see its life going? So having these dual dialogues, one where you're talking to your future version and one where you are the future version, you're talking to your current version, you're going to get a lot of information this way. You're going to get a lot of guidance, like maybe a game plan of like how to approach your life. So now that you have these answers, this roadmap maybe for where you want to go, you really need to start digging deeper into what's stopping you from getting there. This is almost like a Socratic method of thought where you're having a dialogue with yourself. You're actually having a dialogue with your limiting beliefs. So the key question here is why? Why are you procrastinating? You have to keep digging deeper and deeper. Why are you procrastinating? Well, maybe because you fear failure. Well, why do you fear failure? Maybe it's because you fear how other people will see you. You don't want them to see you as a failure. Why don't you want them to see you as a failure? Well, because maybe that will then reinforce the idea you have of yourself as being someone who's not reaching their full growth potential. This is an example of digging deeper, like 4 levels about what is actually stopping you. So any limiting belief that you have, anything that is stopping you, you have to realize why it's stopping you at the core. What this does when you consistently do it and you keep digging down for the truth is it reveals what you really care about. Your limiting beliefs are a sign about what you actually want out of life. And they're stopping you out of fear, out of actually survival in a lot of ways. Your limiting beliefs are trying to help you in a certain way. A lot of times it's for safety. Keep digging down deeper until you find inside you what you're looking for, what are the intrinsic motivating factors. And a lot of times it's growth. That's a big intrinsic factor. It's helping other people or a sense of community. That's a big intrinsic factor. There's a lot of different ones. It's different for everyone. So now that you have your core motivations, you understand what's limiting you. Now you look at what are the steps necessary to get to this life, which should have come up when you were talking to yourself, your future version of yourself. So now you need to apply these intrinsic motivations. If your intrinsic motivation is to fulfill your potential to grow as much as possible, you need to frame your goals this way. So your goal isn't making a bunch of money. Money is a byproduct of this type of growth, right? This is just a specific example. Doing this will actually motivate you way more because it's actually what you really care about. Most people don't know about or talk about this next step, and it's probably the most important step. You have this roadmap of where you want to go. You kind of understand what's limiting you and what is actually motivating you on a deeper level. This alone is not going to change your life. A lot of people will tell you that it will, but it won't. You still have to live your life in a certain way to achieve what you want to achieve. Aristotle said, we are what we repeatedly do. So you need to bring these insights into your life, and you need to correct behavior that is not serving your future goals. So what's a behavior that's not serving your future goal? Maybe if you have this tendency to want to go on your phone right away in the morning and kind of procrastinate, although you know that there are these limiting beliefs that are encouraging this behavior, you know where you want to go and what you need to do, there's still going to be a strong pull towards this behavior simply because you've been doing it for so long. You've programmed yourself to keep doing these patterns that have been repetitive. To break this, you have to do the exact same thing. You have to reverse this process with conditioning. And you know what it is a lot like? I have like horrible posture and I'm trying to correct it by standing up straight, sitting up straight. It's difficult because I've learned this behavior throughout my life to kind of hunch over. It's like my norm or whatever. And to correct this, I not only need to kind of do exercises to show me what good posture is, but to actually change your posture. In everyday life, you have to remind yourself to just sit up straight. It's as simple as that. So with anything in your life that you want to change, you have to bring this level of mindfulness to it. Just like with your posture, where it is painful to stand up straight. You don't want to do it. It's not comfortable. You have to push yourself, and it isn't going to be comfortable to wake up and work right away, for example, instead of going on your phone and scrolling. But the more you do it, the more easy it will be. Go within. Leverage the power of your subconscious mind to get these answers, to get these insights, and you definitely will change your life. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you all next time.